Today, justice was denied for the family of Mary Beth Clark in what I would call one of the most egregious ways. So at the end of 2021, going into 2022, Mary Beth Clark was looking forward to life more than ever. Mary Beth had just filed for divorce from her husband. She had been telling other relatives that he was drinking more and his conduct was becoming violent. She didn't feel safe in her home anymore. And so she was looking forward to ending her marriage and starting her life new. On December 30th, 2021, Mary Beth left the home with only the clothes on her back, but on January 2nd, she returned to the home in order to get her medication and to pack some clothes. Mary Beth was only at the home for about 20 minutes when somehow Stephen Clark, Mary Beth's husband, was able to convince her to get in the vehicle with him. Now, we don't know where they might have been going or what reasoning she had for getting in the car or what reasoning he used for getting her in the car, but she did get in the vehicle with him. At that time, Stephen Clark was driving a 2019 Jeep Wrangler. It had been raining, so the roads were wet, so you would think that one might exercise more caution under those conditions, but Stephen and Mary Beth only made it about a mile down the road before they crashed. It was estimated that the vehicle was traveling at about 90 miles an hour, 90 miles per hour in 1 mile. The vehicle left the roadway on the right side of the road. It ran through a field, through a ditch, through a fence, and ultimately hit a tree with such great force that the tree was uprooted, and the vehicle kept going another 18 feet until it hit another tree. Stephen overcorrected it, spinning the vehicle around about a time and a half before the vehicle finally came to rest. It was noted in the police report that a majority of the impact was on the right side of the vehicle, which meant that Mary Beth Clark would have been the one that received the brunt of the injuries. At the time of the accident, police did suspect that Stephen Clark may have been under the influence of something when he got into the accident. You have to understand, this was 9:30, 9:45 in the morning, but police did suspect that he was not sober. His blood alcohol level was checked, and he registered 3 times, more than 3 times the legal limit, a .22. Mary Beth Clark was pronounced deceased at the scene, and Stephen Clark was ultimately charged with negligent homicide in the death of his wife. I do want to add in that before any of this happened, Stephen Clark was a part-time deputy for the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and also was an instructor for the Arkansas Fire Training Academy. Are you asking yourself how I feel like this is a family being denied justice yet? So not only did this family lose Mary Beth in such a terrible way, but Stephen has gone through the court process like a person does when they're charged with something, especially something of this significance. Today, Stephen Clark was set to accept a plea deal in this case, and the family and friends of Mary Beth Clark were going to read their victim impact statements. It has now been reported that at some point during the hearing today, before Stephen Clark accepted the plea deal and before any victim impact statements had been read, Stephen Clark was allowed to go to the bathroom unaccompanied, but instead of going to the bathroom, Stephen Clark went out to the parking lot, and Stephen Clark made a choice to unalive himself. Stephen was taken to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Please keep Mary Beth's family in your thoughts and prayers, as I'm sure this has compacted their grief to have had all of this happen today on a day that they thought they were going to get justice. And also keep Stephen's family in your thoughts and prayers. They didn't choose this. They're not the ones that were drinking and driving, and they certainly didn't choose for him to go to the parking lot and do what he did that ultimately took their loved one as well.